All right, race fans, listen up. After a long, quiet summer, the paddock has absolutely exploded with news. The championship is back on, and the destination is the one, the only, Monaco. But hold on, before anyone can even think about celebrating on the Riviera, there is a brutal, globe-trotting gauntlet they've got to survive first. Let's get right into it.
You know, the great Juan Manuel Fangio said it best, and his words are pure gospel right now. Testing is where races are won. As we gear up for round 3, preparation isn't just important, it is everything. This month-long, world-spanning test schedule, it's not practice, it's the first real battle for Monaco.
So yeah, the summer silence is officially over. Before we get to the glamour of Monte Carlo, the teams are facing a month of pure sweat and steel. A seriously demanding international testing schedule. And just look at the scale of this thing. The schedule is a non-stop meat grinder from late August right up until the race on September 27th. We're talking about a war of attrition across 4 different continents before a single lap is even turned in the Principality. It's immense.
Now, this world tour isn't for sightseeing, that's for sure. It's a strategic breakdown of the modern race car. Each location is like a specialized laboratory. France and Great Britain, that's all about testing engine endurance. Italy, well, that's for raw, blistering, top-end speed. The brutal heat in the US and Mexico, that's going to push mechanical reliability to the absolute breaking point. And then, finally, the tight, twisty circuits of Japan, the perfect dress rehearsal for the kind of chassis agility you need to survive Monaco.
Okay, so with all this insane prep kicking off, let's just hit pause and reset the board. Who actually has the advantage after the first 2 pretty dramatic rounds of the championship? Well, so far, the story's been all about ice-cold precision.
Man, it is just a sea of Nordwagen blue at the top. After that incredible 1-2 finish in the pouring rain at Interlagos, Victoria Yahonen and Bobby Ashford have a serious lead. Yahonen, the flying Finn, he looks totally untouchable with 18 points. But behind them, look at that, it is a dogfight for 3rd place.
And if you think the driver standings are one-sided, just look at the constructors' battle. Nordwagen Renstall is in a completely different galaxy with 28 points. That's more than double their closest rival, Tempesta Rosso. The German team is the benchmark. They're the ones everyone is desperately trying to figure out how to beat.
But here's the thing, the points table, it only ever tells you half the story. Behind those clinical results, a storm is brewing in the paddocks. We're talking intense rivalries, mechanical frustration. This is where the real drama is.
Over at Nova Drift, you've got a classic clash of styles. On one side, Leo Drift, the owner's son, the natural talent who drives by the seat of his pants. And on the other, Michael Emberstorm, the methodical engineer. Leo says he's fighting the track, not a stopwatch. And Michael's response? He says he works with engineers, while Leo uses his ears. Ouch! You can feel that tension right there.
And it's pretty much the same story over at the fiery Italian squad Tempesta Rosso. It is art versus science. You've got Raul Calabria, the Spanish artist, who wants to make the car dance. His teammate, the Brazilian technician Francesco Massa, has this ice-cold reply. He wants to dance, I want to win. We need tests, not poetry. They're not even speaking the same language in the same garage.
And then there's Vanquish Engineering. You know, nothing really captures their situation better than this brutally honest quote from their driver, Leo Lebarjat. While other teams are fighting each other, Lebarjat says the real fight at Vanquish is with their own car. He blames the damn Vanquish chassis. You don't hear that kind of honesty often.
And get this, a very trusted source from the paddock. The journalist Elena Speedwell adds a whole other layer to this. Check out this confidential note. She says she can see past the smiles at Nova Drift. She writes that Michael Emberstorm has lost a little patience. That quiet frustration, that's a ticking time bomb in that garage.
So, why does all this matter? All this prep, all this simmering tension? Well, it's because all of it is being aimed at one single, unique, and terrifying challenge on the calendar. A place they simply call The Rock.
Let's be clear, Monaco is not a racetrack. It's a tightrope walk between unforgiving steel barriers for an hour and a half. It's not a test of horsepower, it's a terrifying ballet of precision, where the driver, not the engine, is what makes the difference. One tiny lapse in focus doesn't cost you a position, it costs you your entire race.
The streets are just impossibly narrow, leaving zero room for error. You've got treacherous corners, sudden climbs and drops, They punish the cars and the drivers. The mechanical attrition is just brutal. Every single part of the car is stressed to its absolute limit. And one mistake, one tiny miscalculation, and bang, your race is over. That's exactly why those agility tests in Japan are so critical.
And we come back to the master, Fangio, who just nails it again. At a place like Interlagos, it was all about finding a rhythm in the wet. But at Monaco, he says, the walls will have their say. It's not about rhythm anymore, it's about millimeters. Absolute, terrifying precision.
And so this whole world tour of testing, it's not just for practice. No way. This is where we're going to find the answers to the season's most burning questions. And believe me, the entire paddock is watching.
First up, Nordwagen. They look completely invincible, right? A perfect German machine. But are they? Remember during the final test at Suzuka before the break, Victory Jahonen's engine let go. A cooling system failure. Is that a tiny crack in the armor right before the most punishing race of the year?
And what about Nova Drift? Can that team hierarchy really survive the pressure cooker of Monaco? We've seen that Michael Emberstorm can win when he's not playing second fiddle. After a test win at Suzuka, he said, "Tonight, I didn't need to ask for permission." You have to wonder, is he going to ask for permission at Monaco? I doubt it.
And then there's Tempesta Rosso. Raul Culebra is pure magic, a true artist behind the wheel. But can the team somehow unite their two clashing styles, the artist and the technician, to find the kind of discipline you need to win in the Principality? Or will they just get in their own way?
For Vanquish Engineering, the question is way more basic. With drivers openly blaming the car and the team being a no-show during some tests, their biggest battle is just with themselves. Seriously, will they even survive their own chaos to put up a decent fight?
So the testing begins now. 4 teams, 4 continents, one final destination. The data's going to be gathered, the cars will be pushed right to the edge, and the drivers will be tested like never before. The walls of Monaco are waiting. And the only question left is, who will be ready?